Hello and welcome to video number 7, Book Bloggers. Blogging traffic and the power of recommendations. So, niche bloggers typically review the books that they are interested in and nothing else. So, I'd highly recommend, if all possible, that you only approach book bloggers in a specific niche. And the reason being is simply because their review could be good or bad. So if you try and build a rapport or a relationship with them beforehand, either join their lists, stay on their list for a few weeks, get to know them a little better, and then read their articles, communicate with them and things like that, and then contact them. Then at that point on, your approach is going to be less formal. It's going to be informal because you will be at that point in time know a little bit more information about the blogger, and the blogger will more likely be more receptive to you. So in that case, it will be easier to probably convince them to write a review versus you contacting them right off the bat and they not really know you. Now, the reason why I say contact book bloggers in a specific niche is because if you're in a specific niche, the person who is reviewing your book is more likely interested in your book. If they're not, they more likely are not going to be interested in your book and most likely will give you a negative review. That's something that we have found. So be sure to read their rules carefully also before you submit your book to their blog. So I'm going to show you a few examples in just a minute. To find book bloggers in your genre and in your niche, basically go to Google and search things like book blog niche, and then the niche, of course, being your niche, and book reviews plus niche. So let me go ahead and show you how to do all of this. So what I'd highly recommend that you go ahead and do is hop on over to google.com and type in book blog directory, put a plus sign, and then put your niche. So let's say, for example, that our book is a science fiction book. So this is a great way to find book blog directories, or directories filled with book bloggers, basically. So we're going to take a look at the top 4 links and see what we get. So this is science fiction and fantasy book blogs. So as you can see, there are tons and tons and tons of book blogs. Now, I don't recommend that you just pick and choose and go ahead and decide to go with a specific one. There is a little more research that we need to do. Of course, you'll need to figure out the exact niche. So if your science fiction book is not young adult, for example, in this case, I don't recommend that you contact these people unless they have a category that is not young adult science fiction, because more likely you're going to get denied. So you want to make sure that you do your due diligence beforehand. Now let's keep to this specific directory and let's take a look at a few of these bloggers, because we want to make sure that these bloggers are indeed getting eyeballs and getting traffic. And the one way to figure out if that is the case is by seeing if they have a good amount of interaction on their site. So for example, this post here has 2 comments and the other one has about 1 comment, no comments, and so forth. Now, what I'm looking for are blogs that have more interaction, as much interaction as possible, because the more means there are more possible potential buyers. And if you go to sites like this and they have like so many members, that might be a good determining factor and see if the reviews are being posted on a regular basis. You also want to make sure if they are legitimate reviews. Some of these people basically grab the description from Amazon and that's it. So you want to make sure that everything follows the guidelines. For example, is it on a consistent basis? Number two, is it an actual review with a rating and everything like that? Or is it being grabbed elsewhere? And another way to figure out if it's being grabbed elsewhere is simply highlighting a sentence and then right clicking and then searching Google for that particular sentence. So that's a great way to figure out if it is unique or not, basically. And then, of course, finally, making sure that the blog has comments and interaction. Now, if you want to find another different route to take, you can say book blog reviews plus science fiction, or whatever niche that you have. I can click on this here. I'm not sure if this is an actual blog. Yes, it is. It's got 2 comments, and this is today. That's a good sign. 2 comments here, 1 comment there. Not a whole lot of comments. And just because it doesn't have as many comments doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have eyeballs. But in my opinion, the more interaction, the better, because when people come to you and they read your book, they are more likely to leave a review. If you find people who tend to interact a lot, those are the type of people that you want to attract. So you can do that. You can do book reviews plus science fiction or whatever niche that you want to use. We see the sci-fi guys book review, and you'll notice a lot of sites use blogspot.com. So you can even go to blogspot.com and do a search in their search engine as well. So we can see here 1 comment. It looks like a lot of reviews are being posted on a consistent basis, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign. But I would highly recommend that you go through them, make sure you do your due diligence. Don't jump the gun and just contact them. But make sure that you do your due diligence. Make sure that you're getting a blog that is getting traffic, and then of course you can contact them.